Hi, I'm Glenn Carlisle with Stoneworks, also known as Grandpa to these grandkids of mine right here. This is Avery. He is 9 years old, and this is Gavin, who is 8 years old, and of course Sophie, who's 3 years old. And Avery and Gavin have been running trains on mine and Sherry's railroad since they were the age of 3. When Avery was old enough to walk, he would chase the trains around the layout. He had to be right where the train was at, and he would run, seem like hours, around the layout chasing the train. Gavin, on the other hand, he liked to sit in one place and watch them come by, and he would touch each and every train, a car, as it went by. He wouldn't knock them off the track. He just wanted to be able to touch the top of them as they went by. After I got them started running the trains good, then we bought them both a Bachman anniversary, and that really sealed the deal then. They were hooked on railroading completely from then on. The grandkids getting involved was just a bonus to the whole garden railroad thing. I've talked to different ones in the hobby, and many that I've talked to just can't see their kids or anyone else's kids running the trains because of the expense. They're afraid that something will get broken, the kids won't take care of it. But my grandkids, when I started them running the trains, I began to teach them that the trains cost a lot of money. They weren't just regular toys. We had to be careful with them. I taught Avery, was the first one. I taught him when he goes into the garden railroad that he has to watch where he steps. There's certain places to walk, can't walk on the track. And then as Gavin began to run trains, not only was I teaching Gavin, but Avery began to help me. He would remind Gavin where he should be walking, where he can only stay off the track. Because of that, because of working with them at the early age, taking time with them, me and Sherry now can just walk off and let them run trains knowing that they're going to take care of them. In fact, when we host one of our club's meetings, that it is Avery and Gavin that are the train engineers. They're running trains while me and Sherry visit with the other club members. I do have to admit, initially, I had some reservations with the grandkids running the trains. But the more that they done it, the more that I worked with them, the more comfortable I got with it, knowing that they were learning, that they were taking the responsibility of taking care with the trains and with the layout. I do have to say that accidents do happen. Uh, one instance that I have involving Avery, and he had one of our Train Revolution controllers, and he was running a train. He was walking around the walkway like he was supposed to, but he didn't see the hose that Grandma had stretched across the walkway that was watering some plants, and he tripped on the hose and he busted the Revolution controller. Uh, but you know, accidents happen. Accidents will even happen to adults. So that's just one of the things of having a garden railroad and having your grandkids or kids help you run it. I think in the long run, the memories will be well worth any accidents that take place.
Grandpa, I remember the time that in August that you were trying to fix my headlight on my train, but you broke my sound card?
That's correct. The night before we hosted a club meeting, I was going to adjust or fix your headlight, and I broke your sound card taking the train apart. But we got it fixed, didn't we?
Yep.
I'm Sherry. I'm alias Grandma. It's been a family thing, a family hobby, all these for 9 years, and the kids love the trains. They're excited about coming to Grandma's house. That's the first thing they say whenever we pick them up is, "Well, do we get to run trains tonight?" They don't care if it's 30 degrees outside. They don't care if it's hot. They are outside running trains couple times when it's really, really cold, they'll get them all set up and stand at the patio door and watch them run just so they can run them. They both helped us set up all the buildings and the people. Last year when we had our Garden Railroad meeting at our house, they spent the whole day outside working and working their little hearts out. One winter, a couple winters ago, we spent all winter making buildings. We've learned to make concrete buildings, and that's a lot of fun. Each one of our buildings is named after our grandkids. We have Avery's grocery store, Sophia's dry goods, and Gavin's hardware, Dalton's feed and grain, and Toby's barbershop for our other grandsons. And he also has a Garden Railroad that we've helping to start in his backyard. We took him to the train convention in Kansas City. Last year we went on vacation to Ohio to the Entertainment Junction, and we spent the whole day there, and we all looked at trains. Everybody said we were crazy for taking a 10, a 9, and an 8-year-old on vacation with us. We found out our whole family likes to do, and they all enjoy, you know, it's something, like they said, to get them out of the house, get them off the video games. And they learn about past things that kids nowadays don't know anything about trains. He's going to teach them how to wire the train and how to take and wire up the buildings, because we're trying to get lights and LED lights in all of our buildings so we can light them up at night. Eventually we're trying to duplicate some of the buildings that were in the Monette yards. He's wanting to build the roundhouse. The thing we seem to have issues with is Grandpa's little switch stands, and we can't seem to not hit those. He keeps having to replace those. No, Gavin says that I'm good at the gardening part and having the plants. Avery doesn't trust me running trains.
I do too.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Avery doesn't like for Grandma to run trains too much. He always gives me instructions every time on how to run the trains and how to run the remotes.
Hardly get to run it.
It is a family affair. You can make it that way. You can teach your kids and you can teach your grandkids when they're little to respect the trains and pay attention. And it's just something you can create memories that they'll have the rest of their life and that you can look back on when they're grown. So it's just a lot of fun. And don't be afraid to let them, if you teach them, don't be afraid to let them play with the trains. It's just something that it can bring everyone together. I always enjoy when the kids come and our grandkids come. Fun when they come. The house is a mess, but I don't care because they're outside, they're having fun, and we're always out there running the trains. It's just something, I miss my kids and I miss my grandkids. It's something that they can do, and they get excited when they come because they want to come to Grandma's house and they want to play. It's just something that I always miss my kids.
Hi, I'm Avery, and I started running trains when I was 3. This is my very first train, and I like to call it Old Blue. I ran it so much, the gears and on the wheel that make the wheels got worn out, so I had to tell my grandpa to fix it. I like trains because when I was little, I traced them around, following them, and also you can hear the whistle far and near, and plus you can also hear the chuffing far and near. If you run it too fast, it would jump off the track and you gotta put it back on. The best speed to run is like around the 60s and 70s. There's another reason why they get off the track, because there could be dirt, there could be something that grows on it that can make it derail. There could be also branches from the storms. To fix it, you gotta find where the derailment's at and put it back onto the rails. This remote is actually, you can turn, there's on and off button, and 1, 2, and 3. And the 1 stands for the sound, and it puts it off and on. 2 means the bell, and the 3 is the whistle. 7, 8, and 9. 7 does the high button, 8 is the medium button, and 9 is the low button. This is where I turn it on. And these buttons right here, this one makes it go forward. This button right here makes it go slow down. These buttons here go the direction. This is forward, this one's backwards. The center button is stop. It means stop. It means emergency stop. When there's a derailment, you press that button, you don't slow it down. The 4 rules of the railroad is to walk on the paths, don't walk in the layout. The second rule is to never ever push the trains off the track or the cars. The third rule is to never go really so fast that it jumps off the track and crashes bad. And then the fourth rule is never run when you run 2 trains, never make the other train go so fast that it crashes into the other train. So I live in a different town, but it's really special to come to my grandma and grandpa's house. Everybody should have a garden railroad in their backyard. Hi, I'm Gavin, and I started running trains when I was 3. My first train I ran was Thomas. This old Thomas here is broken. The gears are broken because it pulled too long of a train. I learned not to pull too many cars. I asked my grandpa why does his eyes move to side, and he told me like he would look if there was something on the track. You hook them up to Annie and you get a battery and plug the battery in, and then he turns on. When the battery runs dead, you have to charge it. Grandpa showed me how to plug in the batteries and charge them. I like running the railroad because I get to run them like so much and get to see my brother run the trains in the dark and just seeing my brother pull a long train. It's just fun to run in the railroad. I have a green train that I like to run besides Thomas. The reason why I wanted this train because it was green, and I didn't care about the red and because it was a Christmas train. The reason why I wanted it was because it was just mainly green. I plug these 2 into each other, and then I put the there's already a battery in here and plug it in, and there's that. It makes a loud sound when it turns on. Like when you start to go on a real train, it makes a really loud sound. It was the sound when you start up a really, like a real train. It has like a sound, really big sound, and when you plug the battery into the train, that it does the same thing. We run the trains on one track. We don't have like a train going that way and the other train facing that way. We have both trains facing this way so they don't run into each other. When you don't see your train coming, you know there's something wrong, so you walk around the track and see where it is. Grandpa buys all these wonderful trains and stuff on eBay. I have a store named Gavin's Hardware. Once Grandpa told me about it, I was really excited of having my own building. Thomas, you're way more fun than a video game. Grandparents are more fun than just doing nothing. My grandpa taught me how to be really responsible with the train. Tell your kids to be responsible with their trains and make sure not to break them. Thank you, Grandma and Grandpa. It's just really fun.